Okay, so this is our fettuccine with white sauce. You can use either chicken or shrimp in it. I'm gonna use shrimp today. So the first thing we do is get a small skillet going with about, oh, well, I'm out of olive oil. So 2 tablespoons of olive oil. We're gonna toss in a half of a red pepper, thinly sliced, and 3 or 4 mushrooms, depending on size, again, thinly sliced. Also, 2 cloves of shredded garlic. So I like to use a microplaner or a zester, but you can use whatever you like. A little bit of coarse salt, a little bit of black pepper, just kind of toss it around a little bit, get the oil to evenly coat. And we're going to cover that. Just going to switch sides so we can start our sauce. I've already boiled and cooked the fettuccine. Cook it to the thickness or the level of cooked that you like. We like it a little softer. If you like it al dente. I did a whole box. Today we are feeding my best friend Ren, hi bestie, and the nurses at her hospital. We like to throw some free food their way once in a while. So I've already got that cooked and it's sitting, it's been rinsed and a little bit of olive oil on it so it doesn't get sticky. So to do our white sauce, really simple. I'm gonna use 2 tablespoons of butter. So this is my take on a simple roux, which is basically just a thickening agent and an oil. So once your butter is melted, and this is over medium-high heat, we're going to sprinkle in about a teaspoon of all-purpose flour. Maybe a teaspoon and a half. Everybody asks me for my recipes. I don't have recipes. I kind of make it up as I go, so you have to bear with me. Whisk. All right, this is one. You just kind of have to keep stirring. This is over medium to medium-high heat. Or I'm sorry, medium to medium-low heat. And the idea behind this is you want to cook the flour but not brown it. You don't want it to get brown. Let go for a second. Toss your vegetables. These are a little higher heat, so you want to keep an eye on them so you don't burn the garlic. Very important. Burnt garlic, nobody's friend. So this is medium, a little bit below medium. We don't want to cook these all the way through. We just want to get a little bit of a wilt on them. Another minute or so on those. All right. So the only way to tell if your roux is ready for deliciousness is to taste it. It shouldn't taste like flour. Another few seconds. All right, again, over medium heat. Heavy cream. Constantly stirring. We're gonna use about a cup of heavy cream to get started. And just shake it around. You can also use 2% milk if you don't have heavy cream, but it's not as good. It is lower calorie and less fat, but not as good. Okay. Oops. All right, to this we are going to add another 2 to 3 garlic cloves, minced or shredded. you don't want this to bubble too much. This is supposed to cook real evenly and slowly, medium heat. So the second it starts to thicken, when it is now, drop it all the way down to low. So I've got a 1/4 cup of shredded Parmesan. And I've got a 1/4 cup of, you can use any white cheese except mozzarella. Too thick. Makes it too stringy. So I'm using Parmesan, Asiago, Romano. So about a 1/4 to 1/2 cup of each of those. So when it starts to get kind of thick and cheesy, that's when you want more cream. Another cup of cream. All right, just keep stirring, mixing it around. So you're starting to get a nice cheesy consistency. That's what you want. You can up your heat just a little bit, medium-low, to get things moving. And we'll check our, these look perfect. It's just a little bit of a golden brown on some of the mushrooms. Your garlic's not burnt, so that's perfect. We'll take that off the heat, keep it covered, so it'll keep cooking for a minute, but not too intense. All right, this looks pretty good. At this point, we're gonna squeeze in just a little bit of lemon. Make sure to catch your seeds. So I've got 1 lemon wedge. All right, so now we're gonna put our seasonings in. I'm gonna use a tablespoon of garlic salt, a tablespoon of Italian seasoning blend, maybe a tablespoon and a half of that. About a tablespoon of black pepper. This thing. Never buy black pepper grinders from Sam's Club. They're horrible. Every time you buy one, they break. 2 or 3 cranks of sea salt. Keep stirring. So it should be velvety and creamy right about now. So at this point, we shouldn't see the big cheese strands. It should just be like a creamy, milky sauce. That's perfect. Give her a taste. Will be delicious. All right, so at this point, I have a little bit of softened cream cheese. We're gonna use maybe 1/8 cup. Just break it into little tiny pieces. Should be about enough. Stirring, stirring, stirring until those clumps are melted. So again, we're over medium, a little higher than medium heat. You only want to keep it real low when you're browning the butter or you're reducing the flour and butter together. After that, you can just kind of keep changing it to get it the right temperature. Kind of break up the little cream cheese chunks. Let's see our taste. Delicious. All right. At this point, we're going to mix in our vegetables, and this is, like I said, just a couple of mushrooms. You can use red peppers, green peppers, yellow peppers. Jalapeno is actually really, really good in this. You just want to keep it stirring so that it doesn't burn. Nothing worse than a burnt white sauce. All right, at this point, drop your heat all the way down to low. You don't want it to boil or bubble. Perfect. So now we're gonna throw in our shrimp. I like to use raw peeled deveined shrimp. So I've got, usually you do 5 to 6 shrimp per person, depending on the size of shrimp. So this is for, I think, four nurses. All right, and again, your heat is really low at this point. You don't want to overcook your shrimp. It only needs about a minute for the shrimp to cook. It's going to continue to cook after you take it off the heat. I've got a half a cup of coarsely chopped Italian parsley and a half a cup of spring onion or green onion, chopped finely. That's looking good. Okay, I'm gonna put a splash more heavy cream in there. I just want the sauce to be just a little thinner. And again, this is one of my super simple, like 6 or 7 ingredients, make it in 10 minutes. Even if you don't know how to boil water, you can make this. Perfect consistency. Now it's time to put our pasta in. So I'm feeding 4 or 5 people, so I made a whole package of fettuccine. And we'll do a little less than that. See where we're at. This becomes kind of obsolete at this point. Do you know where my tongs are? All right, so you mix it with your tongs. And the idea is you're just tossing. So again, your heat is still on really, really low. This is a dish that's best served fresh out of the pan. You don't want it to sit too long because all those cheeses start to harden up. Everything is thoroughly coated. It's beautiful. Nice big helping. And some delicious shrimp. And that is our fettuccine with white sauce and shrimp. Also really great with grilled chicken. Try it, it's easy, you can't screw it up. Enjoy.